doing this consistently on Joseph's channel now, so you get to see my opinions on different games in the NALCS. So just some quick scheduling things for these, and plus just addressing some concerns about the first draft review. So sorry about the quality of the first one. There wasn't great production value. Obviously, I just messed up a few things with the OBS recording and everything, so I'll make sure to clean those up next time, so it's a cleaner, crisper, and better viewing experience for everyone. Also, if there are any mic issues at all, just tell me. I'm actually a bit sick currently, so I'm not talking too loudly. But with the scheduling, overall, I'll be doing all C9 games, draft review, and now speed draft reviews as well, just to make sure you guys are getting Cloud9 content, as me and Joseph are both Cloud9 fans, and I'll just be going through the game and what is happening, and analysing not only the draft but also the gameplay and how each team hits the rift and plays the game out. And then I'll also be doing, just so you guys get more draft reviews from different teams, all the Monday Night League games as well. And if there's a Cloud9 game, then I'll just be doing 3 VOD reviews for the week. But yeah, I'll be doing all the Monday Night League games. I'll be doing all the playoff games when they roll around each series. And then I'll be doing a few LCK games potentially with Team 1 when that does come back due to the coronavirus. I'll probably be doing some international tournaments as well once they roll around, if they do, again with the coronavirus. So hope you guys do enjoy the content. I hope this is a bit better edited for you guys to watch and enjoy, and thanks for tuning in. I'll also put all the scheduling stuff down below and on the Facebook page, just to make sure you guys are updated and know everything that's going on with these videos. So really glad you guys are tuning in. Let's get going. So Immortals against Team Liquid. So we're just going to start off with the bans and Team Liquid taking away the very prioritized Ornn, while Immortals taking away 2 top lane picks so far in Mordekaiser and Aatrox. I don't particularly think these 2 champions should be bannable in the first phase. They're not extremely potent champions, and I think you should be banning more flex-orientated champions, as I've mentioned in the previous video, like Gragas, Pantheon, or Karma or something over here, so Team Liquid aren't allowed to flex 2 champions that can be picked in the later stages. So though a lot of the time, these teams aren't particularly thinking about that sort of stuff, and they're just more thinking about the priority picks, and the champions that are strong in their positions, but not thinking about the actual synergy of the compositions, and that is a major problem with a lot of Team Liquid's drafts, and Immortals as well are plagued with these sort of mistakes, and are actually heading 3 top lane bans into Impact, which is a really weird thing to do, particularly when Impact's not really Team Liquid's best player, and Broxah, Jensen, Doublelift, and Core JJ are all better than them in my opinion, though Doublelift and even Broxah are not in the best of form currently. So an interesting thing that Team Liquid do is they ban the center, and that's going to leave up Aphelios. So I'd expect an MF counter here, and then potentially a Gragas or something flexible, or something that you can actually blind pick into Immortals picks here. And then Set's also banned as well. So the only major champion that I consider is pretty broken right now that's left up is Aphelios, but plus a Yuumi, which I think is quite strong right now. So you actually could elect to pick something like Yuumi Karma or Yuumi Olaf here. It does leave you up with a counterable option here though, so the Yuumi could be picked here or here. So I really like Yuumi. I think she's quite broken, so I think she could be kicked by TL here, but she does have spots where she's quite bad, so yeah, it'd be interesting to see what TL do, but MF is the best ADC left up here, so they might pick her here, and then ignoring the kind of the flex options that they could also pick, but probably going to potentially go with the MF here. I haven't actually watched this draft full, so this is my first time reacting to it as well, and so that they obviously can't pick the set now, so a strong champion that they might usually pick is banned, so they're going to go with the MF here, I believe, into the Aphelios, which is fine. I do like the MF. It is quite a strong pick currently and does a lot of damage and is able to bully out Aphelios typically in the laning phase. And just has a lot of control on the map currently with the objectives. So important. The Drakes are so important in the games. MF is a very good pick to have early control, but also has really good scaling later in the game. Though Aphelios is just kind of how I pick right now, and just utterly broken really. And I'm not really sure why Team Liquid are letting him through, and choose to ban the center instead, which is much less. That was horrible. Uh, that's not even a square, but they choose to let it go through here. Now this is something I really don't like at all about this draft from Liquid. Why are you picking Zoe here, right? Like, it's not flexible at all. Pantheon's up. Pantheon hasn't been banned, so you could pick Pantheon. You could pick Greg. You could pick Karma, which isn't a pick that I've seen almost at all. I'd even rather something like ooh, Rise or Casio here, something that you can flex into other positions. And you saw bit of a spoiler, but C9 could pick Syndra here. Like, Syndra wouldn't be a terrible pick here. You can flex it to multiple lanes, and it is a pick that you can go here. But Zoe is just a really weird pick here. I don't understand why they're picking it. They're showing their hand way too early, particularly on your best player in Jensen, currently in form. So why they picked the Zoe here is baffling to me. And now Team Liquid are allowed, Immortals are allowed to get a counter pick mid lane when they shouldn't be able to. That should be Team Liquid's job over here. Zoe is not a prioritized pick here. There are plenty of better champions up, and I have just almost no idea why it's being picked here. It's a pretty woeful pick by Team Liquid, and just speaks to the problems they're having currently. They're going to fall 6-8 as they lose this game to Immortals, and they really just killing themselves in the draft phase. I mean, this is just absolutely pathetic. Why is Zoe being picked here? I don't understand the misfortunes. Fine, but Zoe just a really weird. I know it's quite decent with the MF in the early game, but doesn't really make any sense to pick it here. And now, what team we could have left themselves open to is Immortals to pick a strong mid jungle duo in Kiana Gragas, which is very good together. I love these two champions together. Very good synergy. Gragas has good synergy with pretty much most champions, in the game, but Kiana is one that I really think he can utilize. One it's so easy to get into this Zoe now with the Gragas and the Kiana engage onto the Zoe and onto the MF, and they already have two extremely immobile champions and extremely early game focused champions that are going to struggle in the early game as well, because Gragas can easily get onto them. So here Team Liquid should decide to pick their jungler into the Gragas to try to counter him, but they've already put themselves at just a massive disadvantage with this second pick already. So it's just kind of insane how far behind they are in this draft. And we haven't even got to the second ban phase, so it's just so interesting that they give up the Aphelios and choose to trade it for MF Zoe, which is just not something you want to give up. You've already lost a better AD carry, and you're blind picking Zoe into a champion like Kiana, who is quite strong against the Zoe. Really, really weird decision. So Team Liquid basically with picking this Nautilus, and you'll see it in the bans up here. So picking this Nautilus, you're saying, okay, we're gonna allow you to ban junglers, so you get a better matchup for Gragas. And then we're going to ban supports, because they pick Nautilus here. So we get a better matchup for this bot lane, right? And so you're banning supports that are good with Aphelios here. So I don't really like Tom as a pick, right? But I think Tom should be one of your bans here. Okay, Tom's a good pick here. Morgana should be a pick, should be a ban as well. I think that's the ones I'd go with here. You could also go with Yuumi, but Yuumi is kind of giving yourself the ability to lose the early game, as Yuumi Aphelios is very weak lane into MF Nautilus, and they could get ahead, snowball the game, and hope to win really early. So Yuumi's probably not the best in this draft. Would be great for the scaling, and if piloted correctly correctly, sorry, I just paused it, correctly by Immortals could be a really good pick, but I think those are the bans you should go for, so see what Team Liquid do choose to ban as actually the Braum. So Braum is okay into Nautilus, but not an amazing pick. Not something you're too worried about as a Nautilus. You can still get onto the Aphelios, you can still create those engages, so bit of an interesting ban. And then Immortals. You want to ban junglers that are decent into Gragas, so I think Olaf's a potential ban here. Sejuani, who can scale into the late game and has a lot of good engage and protection. I think that's a good ban as well. Sejuani would work quite well here um, into the Immortals team composition. Alatsu protects Zoe and MF a lot easier as well, can peel the Kiana and the Gragas off and can get easy engages on the Ophelia. So I think that's actually a really good ban. Didn't really think about that pick actually too much. And then Thresh. So Thresh is a really unique ban here. I don't really understand that ban too much. I don't think it pairs extremely well with Aphelios. I think Nautilus MF still going to win the lane, and you're picking Thresh for the laning phase usually. So just kind of a weird ban. Jarvan, that's a decent ban as well. Two good solo junglers into Gragas who can match him at most stages of the game. So um, like Immortals bans, but Team Liquid's bans are just extremely questionable, and now they have to blind pick their jungler, or not blind pick their jungler, sorry. So they can pick their jungler here and then counter pick a top lane here. So you're actually allowing yourself some options by picking this Olaf here, and Olaf is actually, for once in this bloody draft from Team Liquid, not a terrible pick. It's good into decent into Grau because you can just run him down, and if you get advantage in the early game, it's quite good. Um, but already you're seeing the problem with Team Liquid's draft. So early game focused, so much just a bit reliance on snowballing and getting ahead in your lanes. And I mean, Olaf can gank mid lane, I guess. It's not a terrible gank with Zoe poking him out and pushing him in, and can gank bot lane, but it's just you have to get ahead and you have to smash early. It's so dangerous, and if you fall behind at all in the early game, you make any mistakes. Um, already the scaling they've got on this team and the safety they have as well to protect these champions. So Gragas particularly does that so well at protecting, at disengaging, at allowing the game to go on and on and on. It's just so dangerous for this team composition, and that's why Immortals are just completely winning this draft. They're able to easily disengage and allow the game to go on further and hit their scaling points with the Aphelios. So as we see, Immortals' last two picks, so I would probably go something safe top lane, something that isn't going to get smashed. And as I said before, Tom Kent should have been banned here because it is quite actually a good pick into this team composition, and it is picked here, which I really like. I like this pick here. I also could have gone Morgana, which I think would have been a bit more better, but Tom is fine, bit simpler. Maybe Hakuho isn't a great great Morgana. Now the Renekton I don't really like. I don't particularly think it's very good. It's okay, but you can still gank potentially whatever top lane pick they go for. Um, could even go Lysandra here. You could go something safe, right? You could just go something that's going to scale, that's going to go into the later stages of the game. You could go a tank, something that is hard to kill. And Renekton, although he is not the easiest champion to kill, this just doesn't really go with this team composition that they've built for themselves. You also don't have so too much reliable engage. Yes, you have the Gragas R, the Gragas E, and Kiana's ult. You don't have too much reliable engage, right? You've got Gragas and Kiana, so you want some engage just to get onto these carries. So potentially something like a Shen could be okay here, but you are blinding it, so you got to remember that as well. So don't really particularly like the Renekton here. I would have just liked some safe engage. Even Gnar is a potential pick here where he has the engage and he's able to be blind picked into most champions. So don't love the Renekton pick, but it's not going to lose in the draft, as we see Liquid just has a pretty pathetic draft all around, and are going to be able to probably beat them because of it. Now, last pick coming in for Team Liquid. What can they do to counter this Renekton? Zach. So, um, okay, so Zach is just such a weird pick here. I don't really understand it. So you've okay. So let's just look at these two drafts, right? Team Liquid very early in the draft by picking this have already really shown their hand. They've said we're going early game, we got to win by 15, we got to attack FLAOS, we got to attack this lane, we got to attack, we got to get ahead, we got to win, 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 win. Right in the early game, get early advantages, snowball the game, and win early. Otherwise, the Kiana and the Aphelios, particularly the Aphelios, right, is going to outscale and win the game, and Gragas can even come in and do that as well. Quite good scaling on the Gragas, particularly into Olaf, right? But you're never going to win the game, late game, as Team Liquid. So if you're going this early game composition, then why not pick something here that can carry the game and get ahead, right? So yes, Aatrox is banned and Mordekaiser are banned, which are two champions that are potent in doing that, but they've still got options to pick something carry, something that can get ahead in the early game. Fiora, again, is not terrible in Terranectin and could potentially be a pick here. Camille is a pick here that I would like to see. Something that can get ahead and can snowball the game. Why pick Zac here when Zac's a team fighting champion? Zac is supposed to not win lane and go for the late game team fighting. And why pick that into Renekton, a lane he was definitely going to lose, definitely going to get behind, and Olaf is going to struggle to make that happen, particularly into a Gragas. If Gragas is able to counter gank, or just go bot and get his bot lane ahead, that is going to be so hard for Olaf to do anything with his bloody Zac, which I just don't understand this pick at all. It doesn't coincide at all with what Team Liquid's composition is doing. So why have you picked it here? It doesn't really make any sense. Is it okay engage and on this team composition? Sure, but at the end of the day, who are you really going to go on? If you go on Kiana, yes, you can get her, but Gragas is going to be able to disengage, particularly if he's there, and if Zac, and this is because Zac's not a jungle pick, right? He's in the team fight, so you're thinking about his impact in the team fights or in skirmishes, and if Gragas is there, Gragas is really good into Zac. He's really good at disengaging the fights and able to just stop him from doing a lot of what he's supposed to do, and then, as well as that, if Gragas goes onto Aphelios in the bot lane, Tahm Kench is there to eat him. So it's just a really weird pick, right? It's so weird, doesn't coincide at all with Team Liquid's draft, and it doesn't really make any sense. Now, what does Team Liquid have to do to win this game? They have to get ahead, they have to get early game advantages, they have to get in Gragas' jungle and attack him, but it's just so hard to do with this composition. It doesn't really make any sense. And Immortals has a lot of really good disengage with Tahm Kench and Gragas. Other way around, sorry. Where they're able to just win team fights and win skirmishes quite easily. So, overall, I really just hate Team Liquid's draft, and I don't really understand what they're doing here. And Immortals, on the other hand, have a really nice draft, and I actually like a lot of the counter picks, and I like the Tahm here, which is usually a pick I hate to see. But in this situation, it is actually quite potent and quite good. So, tick. I love the Kiana Gragas that they used. That really just punished the Zoe MF pick extremely heavily. I don't understand why they're picking it and they punish it very heavily. The Aphelios first pick is really good and opens them up for a good draft. So I really like Team Liquid's draft overall. The Renekton is a bit questionable, but we can get past that, right? We can get past that. With the rest of their drafts is really fantastic, and I really like what they've done. So overall, Team Liquid, a very big question mark on their draft, and it's just kind of a mess. And don't really see how they would win this game. And as they did lose, it's obviously shown through this draft why that was able to happen. So that's been my draft review for this Immortals vs Team Liquid game. If you guys have any queries, any questions, anything you wanted to add to this draft as well, anything I missed, or anything you disagree with, or want to talk about with this draft, feel free to leave it in the comments below or on the Facebook page. You can comment. I'll link the video on the Facebook page, and you can comment on that post as well. With any feedback, anything about my mic or anything would be great. Just so I can make sure to bring the best quality content to you guys. And anything extra as well you want to see. If you want to see me do more draft reviews or just discussions overall, or bring someone on call and do a draft review or enjoy doing. So
Hi there, guys! Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel for more stuff.
Yeah, thank you.